July 2002. The world's press gathers in New York to witness the most extraordinary auction of the new millennium. Just one item is for sale, a $20 gold coin. Missing for decades, this rare coin is about to become the most valuable piece of metal on the planet.
This has to be the most interesting case I've worked on, just because the story, the facts behind it are so rich.
One of those desperate to own the coin is a mysterious bidder, a man with millions of dollars at his fingertips.
This man had not bid at auction before, and he asked about the dynamics of the auction, what the auction process was. He said, well, he really wanted to be quite discreet about his bidding.
As the mysterious bidder knows, this is more than just a rare coin. It's a lightning rod for history, greed, and deception. This is a coin like no other. Lusted over by presidents, kings, and billionaires. Hunted by criminal investigators. For over half a century, the Double Eagle was on America's most wanted list.
Yes, sir. I'm working on the progress report as we speak.
On the run, it makes a great escape. It crosses continents and oceans, seducing with its magical lure. For some, it brings fortune.
The asking price is $1.5 million.
For others, disaster.
Secret Service! Police! Put them up! Secret Service! Secret Service!
It is the 1933 Double Eagle. The story of the world's most amazing coin begins with one of America's most charismatic presidents, Theodore Roosevelt. 1905, the dawn of the American century, and Roosevelt is a man with an epic vision. He sees America as a champion of democracy and freedom, values symbolized by the American eagle. It's a vision he wants to express through new designs for the country's coins, the face of the nation. The coins Roosevelt has in mind will be made of 21-karat gold. But Roosevelt hates the designs of American coins. He tells his secretary they are artistically of atrocious hideousness. Roosevelt has now set his sights on new designs for the $10 gold coin, the Eagle, and the $20 gold coin, the Double Eagle. The man chosen to deliver the president's vision, Augustus St. Gaudens. One of America's greatest sculptors, he is the creative genius behind many of the country's most outstanding monuments. But St. Gaudens is dying of cancer, and he's in a desperate race against time. His first task is to create a new image of the American eagle on the reverse side of the $20 gold piece. His first design is a powerful standing eagle. But it's an eagle in flight that is ultimately chosen. An iconic symbol of freedom and national aspiration, transcendent, imperial, and magnificent. St. Gaudens delivers. His vision is tangible, glorious, and immortal. Roosevelt is enraptured.
It's a total quantum leap. It has a sculptural quality. And the eagle in the back totally knocks me out. It's just a sailing against the sun. It's just a totally magnificent representation of an eagle.
On the other side of the coin, St. Gaudens sets out to reinvent the image of liberty.
Roosevelt didn't like the staid likeness of liberty who had graced our coins for 50-odd years. He wanted something that was dramatic, that very much like Teddy was dramatic. He wanted things done. He slammed his hand on the table and he got things done.
St. Gaudens delivers the ultimate vision of love, beauty, and perfection. iconic design that will stand the test of time.
It is an extraordinary work of art that belies the size. The image of Liberty with her hair whipping in the wind, the rays of the sun enlightening the world behind her. It was a tour de force. It was a work of bravura.
Shortly after finishing the new designs, St. Gaudens dies, his greatest work completed. In 1907, the new double eagles go into production. New versions of the gold coins are minted and released almost every year, delighting America's coin collectors. Until 1933, when everything changes. That year, nearly 500,000 double eagles are minted. Yet decades later, one of these $20 coins will sell at auction for millions of dollars. Just how one of these double eagles could emerge out of obscurity and become the most valuable and celebrated coin on Earth is a mystery rooted in the momentous events of 1933. The nation is in the midst of the Great Depression. To protect their savings, people begin to hoard gold coins, draining the government's gold reserve. It's a development that will draw the attention of the newly inaugurated president, Teddy Roosevelt's cousin, Franklin D. Roosevelt.
And I am certain that on this day, my fellow Americans,
On his first day in office, Roosevelt orders all gold to be returned in exchange for banknotes.
I don't think there has ever been a proclamation of such great importance made in the United States by a president within the first 24 hours of his presidency. It was effectively banning private ownership of gold. And the next morning, people were lined up outside the Federal Reserve Bank in New York with bags of gold.
But someone forgets to tell the mint in Philadelphia. Despite the gold ban, the mint churns out nearly 500,000 double eagle coins before anyone in Washington notices.
These supposed to be the new ones. 33s?
Yeah, just come in. We'll be going out again soon for testing.
And?
The weight is perfect.
Nobody had told them to stop making coins. 445,500 double eagles were perfectly legally made. But the instant they were made, they were instantly illegal to own. A wonderful paradox. Legally made, illegal to own.
The mint eventually takes action. Without ever leaving the building, the 1933 double eagles are moved into long-term storage. If any of these illegal coins ever escape, they will become a coin collector's dream. So the Mint chief cashier, George McCann, knows he must be extra vigilant.
Look, there's no room for any mistakes. Not in the weighing or the recording of the information. You all understand? Any discrepancy, one single coin down, and I'll know about it.
If any of these 1933 double eagles go missing, the Mint officials in charge of the coins will have to pay out of their own pockets. The 1933s are locked away until Washington can decide their fate. 9 months into the gold ban, the Treasury has paid out hundreds of millions of dollars for returned gold coins.
The government decided to melt all stocks of gold coins at every mint across the country.
Time to open up the cages. Show me your book, Mr. McKiernan.
yes, sir.
It was a massive undertaking. It took 2.5 years to melt all these coins.
Finally, the day comes for the 1933 double eagles. Nearly 500,000 made, never circulated, and now targeted for destruction.
All the 1933 double eagles were taken, weighed, and sent into searing heat. Wonderful works of art that St. Gaudens had developed were now being turned into faceless bricks. They were born They lived and they died in one building in Philadelphia.
However, 2 1933 double eagles are officially preserved, sent to the Smithsonian Institution as part of America's national coin collection. The 2 coins are still there today. Except for the 2 survivors at the Smithsonian, the 1933 double eagle officially ceases to exist. But the story isn't over just yet. There's been an escape. The 1933 double eagle is about to find a place on the Secret Service's most wanted list. (1944). America is at war. War is good for business. In New York, the coin dealer Stax holds one of its regular auctions. Amazingly, it includes a coin that shouldn't exist. A 1933 double eagle. Only 11 years after it was minted, the coin is expected to fetch 75 times its original value, $1,500 or more. If the coin is genuine, how has it escaped the smelter and the mint?
One single coin down and I'll know about it.
According to mint records, except for the 2 coins sent to the Smithsonian, all 1933 double eagles have been destroyed. Someone seems to have pulled off the perfect crime. The U.S. Secret Service, responsible for the security of the nation's money, is ordered to investigate. They call in one of their best men, Special Agent Harry Strang.
Sorry I'm late, sir.
Sit down, Strang. You have a reputation. You're smart. You know your way around. So, impress me, Strang.
A 1933 gold double eagle coin that was supposed to have been melted down appeared at an auction. Since it was never legal tender, it must have been stolen.
And?
It's only a coin, sir. Collector's item, but still just a coin.
First error, Strang. The coin has no only attached to it. It is illegal tender. You see, if the people don't trust the mint, they won't trust the money. I want you to go out and find who stole the coin, and then we'll nail him.
Strang has no idea that his investigation is just the first chapter in a mystery that will long outlive him. Strang's task is straightforward: track down the coin and find out who stole it. First, he calls the coin dealer Stax, where the mysterious double eagle is up for sale. How had it gotten there, and is there a link to the mint?
Harry Strang said, well, our records show that these were all destroyed, and what you have may have been stolen from the United States government. The Stack brothers turned the coin over. They looked at it. Secret Service agents looked at it and said, well, in our opinion, it's genuine.
Strang confiscates the coin, but he learns something that will break open his investigation. The auctioneers have given him the name of a coin dealer owning another 1933 that escaped the smelter. The dealer's name is Max Berenstein. When Strang threatens him with prosecution, the agent manages to seize a second double eagle. Berenstein claims he had no idea the coin was stolen. He informs Strang that some of the biggest dealers in town also own some illegal 1933s. Thanks to the tip-off, Strang seizes 3 more coins, bringing his total up to 5. Strang isn't out to prosecute those who own the coins. He's hoping to trace them back to the source and find whoever stole them in the first place. Everything points to Philadelphia, the birthplace of the double eagles at the U.S. Mint. Strang discovers that a wealthy coin dealer in Philadelphia, James McAllister, once sold as many as 5 1933 double eagles. the trail is getting ever closer to the source.
James McAllister was a marvelous-looking man with wire-rimmed glasses, an extraordinary talent for coins, a gentleman's dealer, we will call him.
Glad to be of help, Agent Strang.
So who was the dealer who sold you the 5 1933 Double Eagles?
His name was Izzy Swit. He's a local jeweler.
Izzy Swit was at the heart of the Philadelphia gold trade and regularly visited the mint to sell them scrap gold.
Concerned about
McAllister admits that Izzy Swit seemed suspicious, but he couldn't turn down a chance at such a rare coin.
They were rare. I'd never seen a 1933 Double Eagle before. It was quite a find.
I understand, but I presume you questioned Mr. Swit about his sources.
Repeatedly. At first he told me he bought the coins off of an old lady who had a relative in the Treasury Department. And then he changed that story and said that his source was a guy who had connections with the Federal Reserve Bank. And the last nail in my dealings with Mr. Swit came when he offered me more 33s. As many as I wanted.
As many as you wanted?
Yeah. Hey, he mentioned his partner, a guy by the name of Ed Silver. He said he could get all he wanted. Apparently they had 25 of these 1933 Double Eagles, and they only had sold 14.
That means there are a lot more coins out there. Thank you, sir.
McAllister's testimony has provided vital clues.
Strang here. Yes, sir. I'm working on the progress report as we speak. Tomorrow morning, I can do that, sir.
All of the illegal 1933s in circulation seem to lead back to the jeweler Izzy Swit. He is considered one of the kings of Philadelphia's gold trade. This is Jewelers Row in central Philadelphia. It's here that Izzy Swit has his shop. Swit admits to Strang that he has sold 9 Double Eagles. What Strang wants to know is where, and more importantly, who he got them from. But Izzy isn't telling.
I'm a busy man. Many people come to me with all sorts of things, and I forget where they come from. But I remember my sales.
You really expect me to believe you don't remember who you bought the Double Eagles from?
Truth is, my memory is shocking.
Do you remember going into the mint?
Now you're joking with me. I've been in the business almost all my life. The mint's where I take my gold.
Who did you know there? Do you remember anybody's name?
Please, Mr. Strang, I'm not completely without wits. I dealt with Jack Pepper, who was in the receiving department.
Anybody else?
Robert Graham. But he's retired now.
Strang is suspicious. Every single illegal coin he has detected leads back to Izzy Swit. But the Philadelphia jeweler claims he can't shed light on who he got them from. Strang suspects Swit bought them from a mint employee. But Swit's contacts at the mint had no direct access to the 1933 Double Eagles. Strang suspects there must have been someone else. He has to go back to the beginning. And his next interrogation will finally break open the case. He pays a visit to someone who'd spent years handling bags of Double Eagles. Mint worker Alexander Zimba.
So what you're saying is the bags were so heavy that you kept your eyes shut while you moved them around. Or maybe you were helping yourself to the Double Eagles.
I never took anything. I never saw anything. I told you.
You work here for 3 years and coins just disappear into thin air like magic.
I don't want to say anything out of the way or get anybody in trouble. And I never actually saw anybody take a coin.
You know, I don't think you did it. But I think you know or suspect who did.
There was a guy we all called the Magician. He always used to do the same thing. Every time he got a consignment in, he'd open it up, and it wasn't necessary. He liked to run his fingers over the gold. Run his fingers over the gold.
So who is the magician? none other than the vigilant cashier, George McCann.
Any discrepancies, one single coin down, and I'll know about it.
McCann no longer works at the Mint, having left to take a job in real estate.
I really don't have a lot of time. I got some clients I need to talk to.
I'm sure we can clear this up, Mr. McCann. I've just got a couple of questions, starting with the procedure for moving the gold coins and the security around them.
What do you want to know?
In a nutshell, who had access?
Well, the box with the coins was always in the custody of the vault custodian. He was the only one with the key.
Go on. What happened to the coins after they came into the Mint?
Well, they were put into the gold coin stock of Vault F. The vault custodian and his assistant were the only ones with access.
You never handled the distribution of the coins after they came into the Mint?
I didn't handle them at all. It wasn't my job.
Despite McCann's denials, Strang isn't convinced.
I have a job I have to get back to.
Fine. Understood. Just one last question. Did you know or had you ever heard of Israel Swit?
Swit? Yeah, Swit. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's one of those dealers who was always in and out of the Mint with his lousy bag of scrap gold.
And you didn't know him personally?
No.
You sure about that?
Yes.
I know you want to get back to your clients, but I'd like to fix another meeting.
But I've told you everything.
Soon.
Well, I'll check my schedule, give my attorney a call, see if he can join us.
I look forward to that.
But the attorney won't allow McCann to be interviewed again on the grounds of his client's alleged ill health. Even without another interview, the evidence against the former cashier is mounting. Strang discovers unexplained payments into McCann's bank account in 1936, amounting to $10,000, 5 times McCann's annual salary. What's more, the payments match withdrawals by Izzy Swit's business partner. Then, the kicker. Just 4 years after the 1933 Double Eagles were stolen, McCann was caught stealing miscellaneous coins from the Mint. He was found guilty and served a year in prison. McCann is now Strang's #1 suspect. But how did he do it? As chief cashier, he had unsupervised access to 1933 Double Eagles in his vault. All he had to do was swap out 1933s for other coins of the same weight. Nobody would notice, since the coins were weighed but never examined on the way to the smelter. It was a perfect opportunity for the perfect crime. A crime that Strang is convinced Izzy Swit was in on.
You really expect me to believe you don't remember who you bought the Double Eagles from?
Truth is, my memory is shocking.
It's almost a year since the investigation began. Strang is convinced he's identified George McCann as the thief and Izzy Swit as his accomplice. But justice will prove elusive.
So are you going to prosecute?
Afraid not. Strictly speaking, we can't get the McCann or Swit. The statute of limitations means it's too late to prosecute them.
But sir, all that evidence and they just walk? How can people trust the Mint if the man in charge of the money helps himself to the gold?
Strang, I know you've put the time in. You want a conviction. But this time, our hands may be tied.
What was the point of even trying to nail them in the first place? I was better off trying to bust racketeers. Sorry, sir.
You've done good work, Strang. And you know what? I don't think the story's over yet.
Strang has managed to get 9 illegal coins out of circulation, even if no one was prosecuted. But a 10th coin has slipped beyond the reach of the law. A coin that will make its way around the world and back again. And when it returns, it will be worth millions. The escape of this single coin starts with a bureaucratic blunder in Washington. March 1944.
Oh, Mr. Fahim. Nice to see you.
1 week before Strang's investigation.
Here's your coin.
The Treasury grants a standard export license for a foreign coin collector.
And here's your export license.
But this license is for a coin that shouldn't exist, the 1933 Double Eagle. Putting the coin at the center of a high-stakes pursuit that will last for more than 50 years. The 1933 Double Eagle is whisked thousands of miles away to the land of the pharaohs. The coin's new owner is King Farouk of Egypt, one of the world's biggest coin collectors.
He was the playboy king of all time. He collected antique pill bottles, antique razor blades. He had one of the great collections of stamps which had been started by his father. He had Fabergé eggs. He had a collection of pornography that was rumored to be of such importance that the British Museum wanted it. And oh yes, he had a coin collection.
The exceptionally rare 1933 Double Eagle has become one of Farouk's most prized possessions.
Aboard comes King Farouk of Egypt. The president extends greetings. And
as long as King Farouk is an important ally of the United States, the U.S. government has to leave the coin alone. In Egypt, Farouk is hated for his extravagance and greed. He spends tens of thousands of dollars on his wife's wedding dress, hundreds of thousands on his mistresses, and millions in casinos.
Martial law comes to Egypt in the wake of bloody riots that turn the land of the pharaohs into a flaming trouble spot. Ismailia becomes the storm.
But the army, the power behind the throne, is turning against its king.
Against terrorists.
In 1952, Farouk is overthrown. The new revolutionary government wants to expose the king's extravagance.
The flame of disorder spreads like a prairie fire.
It decides to sell off Farouk's treasures in a public auction. Among the many precious items for sale is Farouk's 1933 Double Eagle, the only one known to exist. The U.S. government spots an opportunity to get the Double Eagle back and demands its return. The Egyptians remove it from the auction, but then the coin disappears.
Diplomatic chatter went back and forth following the sale to get the coin back, but slowly but surely, interest seems to have died out, and the paper trail goes dead. And in 1954, the 1933 Double Eagle from Farouk's collection simply goes away, probably sitting in some vault somewhere in Cairo.
Once again, the 1933 Double Eagle has slipped away. But it won't stay hidden forever. London, 1995. 40 years have passed, and the British coin dealer Stephen Fenton gets an offer.
Speaking.
An Egyptian jeweler has a 1933 Double Eagle for sale.
I would be very interested.
The Egyptian jeweler has recently moved the coin from Cairo to a safe deposit box in London, where Fenton can see it. But is it genuine?
Extraordinary.
And what exactly does Fenton know about the illegal status of the world's most elusive coin? The first time a 33 appeared at auction in New York 52 years ago, the estimated price was about $1,500. Fenton will need a lot more than that. He manages to buy the coin for $220,000. A shrewd businessman, he hopes to sell it on the other side of the Atlantic for a profit of over $500,000. It's a dangerous game, Anyone caught dealing with stolen U.S. government property risks years in prison.
Fenton got in touch with an American dealer, a man called Jay Perino, who Fenton had never really met, but he knew his reputation. And Jay Perino, who ran a company called The Mint, was the biggest buyer in the 1990s by far.
So, what exactly are you selling?
I have a 1933 Double Eagle in excellent condition.
Would you be interested?
I would, yes. I think I have a buyer for you. Let me give him a
For
call.
years, there have been rumors about 1933 Double Eagles. For serious coin dealers like Perino, the offer of buying one is too good to be missed.
I would.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
Okay.
And he already has a buyer lined up for this one. The man he has in mind is Jack Moore. He's a coin enthusiast buying on behalf of a millionaire collector obsessed with Double Eagles. But Moore has an agenda in mind that goes beyond just buying the coin.
Hello. Hi, Jack. Yeah, it's Jay Perino.
Jay, it's been a while.
I have that coin you've been looking for.
Oh, yeah?
I have a rock-solid lead on a 1933 Double Eagle.
Sure about that?
It surfaced in Europe.
Interesting.
So are you in?
Might be.
The asking price is $1.5 million.
You are kidding. I think about half that amount.
Okay. I'll make a call to the seller and I'll get back to you.
Perino is hopeful. In the past, he's made a lot of money selling coins to Moore and his client. The coin he's now offering could deliver the most lucrative deal of his life.
What Perino didn't know is that Jack Moore held a personal grudge against Jay Perino for some deal going south.
Moore is about to set up Perino. He decides to use the sale of the 1933 Double Eagle to exact revenge. He knows that the coin is illegal and contacts the Secret Service. The Secret Service tells Moore to go ahead with the deal. They know it may be the only way to recover the Double Eagle. The deal will have to take place in the United States so that federal agents can seize the coin. The following conversations are taken directly from Secret Service transcripts.
This is Jack.
Hi, Jack.
You haven't called me back. I assume you haven't heard anything back about the price?
We're working on it.
The price is agreeable?
Well, I don't know. All I said to them was we'd like to buy it a little cheaper, but the problem is getting it there.
Getting it here, you mean?
For a sting to work, the coin has to be on U.S. territory. Moore has to convince Perino that the seller needs to do the deal in America.
I don't know if I can get my person to go overseas or not.
Well?
I know he wants to buy the coin.
Oh, yeah?
And he's got the money.
Well, let me give him a call and, I'll see.
Moore finally agrees to Perino's asking price of $1.5 million, as long as the deal goes down in the U.S. February 1996. It's homecoming day for the Double Eagle. After months of negotiation, a meeting is scheduled in New York. But this is a game where everybody has their own agenda, where nothing is quite as it seems. London coin dealer Stephen Fenton flies to New York on the Concorde. He meets up with his cousin, there for moral support. Together, with no armed guard, they walk through the streets of New York with a single coin worth over $1 million. It's the first time that Fenton and Perino meet in person. They have no idea what they're about to walk into. Stephen Fenton anticipates a profit of over $500,000. What he doesn't know is that the American dealer, Jay Perino, stands to make even more, $600,000.
Hi, Jack.
Jay, howdy. Hey, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Jack Moore's role as a Secret Service informant is to help verify the coin's authenticity and set the deal in motion. The Secret Service believes that if Fenton sells the coin, he can be prosecuted for a bigger crime than just possessing it.
I got a little deal here.
As a first step of verifying that the coin is genuine, Moore has been instructed to check that it has the correct weight for a double eagle.
Do you do the authenticating?
33.4 grams.
I suppose we can. Well, let me get the coin out.
You understand, I just want to look at the coin. After that, I'm going to call the buyer and his expert and ask them to come up.
You want me to put it on there? Yeah, lay it on the scale. Go ahead.
The weight is correct. As a piece of gold, its worth is less than $1,000.
Now, can I look at it?
Of course.
As a 1933 double eagle, it could be worth millions.
Years back.
I think you can make your call to your buyer now.
The buyer will be accompanied by a coin expert.
I'm just soaking it in.
Hi, guys. Time to come up.
But the buyer and his expert are federal undercover agents. Their task is to confirm that the coin is authentic before a wave of agents descends on the hotel room.
This is the buyer.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Hello.
This is the expert.
Hello.
This is the coin.
With a look, the agent signals this is the real deal. It's half a century since the Strang investigation. Now, the Secret Service has another 1933 double eagle in its sights.
If my expert's happy, so I'm happy.
The secret cue has been given.
Well, we can wire you the money.
Of course.
Please! Secret Service! Secret Service!
The operation is a complete success. The double eagle is finally back in government hands. Agents take the men away for questioning. Fenton faces 10 years in prison for handling and attempting to sell stolen government property. He has no idea that he's the first person to face charges relating to a crime committed 70 years earlier. It's a moment of triumph, especially for Jack Moore. He's managed to pull off the sting, and his ego is flying. The agents are thrilled. The elusive 1933 double eagle is back in government custody. And that's where the story might have ended. Stephen Fenton won't give up without a fight. He hires a lawyer who successfully argues that his client had been unaware of the coin's illegal status. Soon, the criminal charges against him are dropped, and he returns to England. Fenton isn't satisfied with freedom. He wants his coin back and sues the U.S. government to get it. The government must defend its position in court, represented by U.S. Attorney Jane Levine.
The mainstay of the government's case was the contention that no $20 gold pieces with the stamp 1933 were ever released into the public as currency. They never legally left the mint. And in addition, the Secret Service's investigation in the 1940s led to evidence that some 1933 double eagles were stolen from the mint by the cashier who was in charge of the till at the time.
But Fenton's lawyer counters that this double eagle is special. This was the coin that got an export license to go to Egypt in King Farouk. He argues that the license established the coin's legal status. 60 years ago, the U.S. Treasury should have seized the 33 as an illegal coin. Did their mistake make it legal?
It came down to, would the export license carry the day for the defense? But there were no live witnesses who could really shed much light on this matter.
And the export license does carry the day. Fenton and the government agree on an out-of-court settlement.
The coin, as part of the settlement, was in fact returned to the mint and was declared to be government property. The mint also agreed to put the coin up for auction, and the proceeds would be split. And so the government would recover half, and Fenton would recover the other half.
(2002), Sotheby's auction house in New York. No coin has ever attracted so much attention, so much publicity, and so many millionaires.
You want as many people as possible to be bidding. It creates much more excitement. It's, 2 people are wonderful, but 5 are better, and 10 are even far better. And the wild cards were the people who were not the coin collectors.
Those wild cards include a man who has never bid for a coin before, but who has his eye on the double eagle.
I did get a phone call from a gentleman who I'd not dealt with before, who said that he would like to come to the auction. He said, well, he really wanted to be quite discreet about his bidding. I had no idea really how far he was going to bid. I thought maybe, sort of the lower millions, but like a number of other people, it was important to have him as well as others in the fray. Am I right? $2,500,000, $2,600,000, $2,700,000 on the telephone at $3,200,000, second row at $4 million.
Out of sight from the public, the mysterious bidder makes his bids on the telephone through a member of staff to the left of the auctioneer.
$800,000 on the telephone again at $5,100,000 in the center back. $6 million on my left. $6,100,000. $6,200,000. $6,500,000 now. Thank you. $6,600,000 on the left. Fair warning at $6,600,000.
The mysterious bidder has won, paying the highest price ever for a coin.
The buyer of the coin said, look, I want this coin publicly exhibited. I don't want to take it home with me. I don't want to put it in a bank vault. I want it to be out there where people can see it.
The buyer, who remains anonymous, has never touched his double eagle. It's now on display in the coin exhibition of the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. The total price, including commission, is $7,590,000, plus its original price of $20 to make it legal tender.
And again, that's the end of the story. All accounted for. Well, not really.
60 years after Agent Strang's investigation, there's still one loose end. The coin dealer, James McAllister, had said Izzy Swit and his partner claimed they could deliver even more of the 1933 coins.
Apparently they had 25 of these 1933 double eagles, and they only had sold 14.
That means there are a lot more coins out there.
In 2004, the family of the late Izzy Swit contacts the Mint. They ask it to verify 10 coins found in the estate of the Philadelphia jeweler. They all turn out to be 1933 double eagles.
I called up the buyer of the 1933, and I said, look, I just want you to know that 10 more have been discovered. And he said, does that mean I have to buy those too? I thought, what a wonderful answer.
The government confiscates the coins. Izzy Swit's descendants are suing for their return. If they win, they stand to make a small fortune. But the value of the Farouk coin could drop If they lose, its value may soar. Whatever happens, the story of this coin defies the imagination. From the lofty aspirations of Teddy Roosevelt to the creative genius of St. Gaudens, from the unparalleled greed of an Egyptian king to a sting by the Secret Service, a story worth $7.5 million. But there's still one mystery waiting to be solved. Strang was told that Swit had handled 25 1933 double eagles, only 20 of which are accounted for. So another 5 may still be at large. Only one thing's for sure. We probably haven't heard the last of the world's most elusive coin.